Architecture school is a grind, and you're going to need all the help you can get. So here are 10 tips to help you survive it. Number 1, make friends with your studio mates. These are going to be the people you're around for the majority of your time for the next few years. They'll be the people that help you through a rough crit and the people that keep you entertained when you're delirious in studio at 4 a.m. I was lucky enough to have a really great group of people in my class, and I've kept a close group of friends since graduation. I've seen all of them at least once a year for the last 8 years since I graduated, and that seems to be a pretty common theme across all the architects that I know. I guess that's what happens when you all go through some trauma like architecture school together. Number 2, balance your time working in and outside of studio. Your professors are all going to tell you that you have to spend every waking hour in studio, and you're probably going to get to a point where you just don't want to be there any more than you have to be. The right answer is to keep a balance of working in studio and working at home. Being in studio is great for a lot of reasons. You can get inspiration from what someone else is working on, help when you're just totally stuck, or maybe you need to do something in Photoshop or Revit and you just have no idea how. And rather than scour the internet, you can just get the quick answer from somebody else that knows. And finally, you're building relationships with people who will have your back when you need it. That said, sometimes you need some time alone. Maybe you get too distracted in studio and you just need to get some work done. Or maybe you just don't feel like dealing with people screaming, the class below you running around the building, or people just playing The Office on repeat for the 50th time on full blast. It's important to pay attention to what you need and just keep a healthy balance. Number 3, learn how to take short naps. You're going to be tired. A lot. And often you're not going to have time to go back to your dorm to sleep or even nap for a few hours. You need to learn how to fall asleep quickly and in possibly uncomfortable locations in studio. Maybe you have a couch, a bench, some learning stairs, a comfy chair in the architecture library, or even just some space under your desk. You're going to want to figure out how to make 20 or 30 minute naps effective. I was never able to do it. I always felt so much worse when I woke up, but there were a few people in my class that could do it, and I was always so jealous. Number 4, make the decision to stop pulling all-nighters. Architecture students pull all-nighters and wear them like badges of honor. I would routinely hear people asking each other, "What's the longest you've been awake?" like it was a competition. I'm here to tell you to stop. Just simply leave studio and go to sleep, even if it's just for 2 hours. I promise you, you will get more done if you sleep and come back than if you just stayed awake. I made the conscious decision to never pull an all-nighter again when I was in my second year, and I did great. I would get tired late at night and I would just leave. I'd come back the next morning, or just a few hours later sometimes, and everyone would still be there looking like zombies, totally dysfunctional. Not pulling all-nighters will force you to become a more efficient worker and become better at prioritizing tasks. 2 things that'll serve you throughout your life. Number 5. Get out of studio and explore your university. You're already spending the vast majority of your time in college in studio, so make sure you get out and expand your horizons. If you're at a big sports school, go catch a football or basketball or volleyball game. If sports aren't your thing, go catch a play at one of the local theaters on campus. Go join a club or an IM sports league. This is a great way to meet friends outside of architecture. If all else fails, just get out and explore your campus. And I'm talking about the parts that you don't already see to and from your other classes. Number 6, save frequently. This should really be a no-brainer, but I'll say it anyway. Save your file. I know we all get into a zone where we don't realize it's been 3 hours, and then suddenly Photoshop crashes. Now, a program like Revit has the ability to remind you to save at frequent intervals, and those intervals are totally customizable. I know that when you're in a good workflow, syncing can seem like such a massive interruption, but is taking 10 seconds to sync really worse than losing 3 hours of work? Number 7, don't get bogged down in the details. We all knew someone in architecture that was nowhere close to getting their project done, yet the night before the deadline, they're modeling the gas stove knobs in the kitchen of their project. Like, dude, big picture. If you still have to finish your plans, lay out your board, and build your model, don't get stuck on the details that'll never be seen. Number 8, learn how to prioritize. Along the same lines, you need to figure out how to get your priorities straight. If you're required to present plans, sections, renderings, and a physical model, make sure you leave enough time to get each thing done. Even if you have really amazing plans, no one's going to care how they look if you're missing everything else. You're better off making sure you have each component done to a certain point, and then using your remaining time to improve each piece. Number 9, leave time to create and review your presentation. We've all been there. You just barely had enough time to get your boards done, and you worked right up until you had to present. You know you've got a great project, but then you get to your crit and suddenly you realize you haven't thought about what you're going to say, and then your presentation is all over the place, leaving everyone a little confused. Don't do this. Leave some time before you present to create your presentation. I'm not talking about running out a script or having note cards up there with you. Just take some time to outline the big bullet points and know how you want to start and finish. Make sure that you're able to hit all the big bullet points so that your jurors and professors will be able to appreciate how much work you've put into the project. And finally, number 10, grades aren't everything. I'll let you in on a little secret that most people don't realize until after they graduate. Grades don't matter. Well, to an extent. You don't want to fail a class and you don't want to totally tank your GPA. The point here is that the purpose of going to architecture school is to teach you how to think and get you a degree that can secure you a job. All employers really care about is your portfolio and how you interview. They aren't pulling your transcript, and your GPA won't even be on your resume. As long as you finish school, can present a great portfolio, and learn some things along the way, your grade in any single class is essentially irrelevant, so don't worry too much. Hopefully these tips can make your life a little easier in architecture school, and let me know if you want to see a part 2.